Back, let's do a workshop on the ShopBirdy Design Studio and Design Assistant MCP server. All right. Cool thing about ShopBirdy is you can install this as an app on your desktop as well as on your mobile. So this is the app version. It's a Chrome app, and you can click the Design tab and get access to this creation tool. It's really cool. I've demoed it before, but there's been a couple of improvements. So let's take, for example, this mascot image, and we're going to place it into the scene. This is our reference image. Already created this using AI, and I've also added the extract background feature, so it should be a nice clean image. And from this, I can now come to my scene template page and select various scenes that I want to place that image in. I've already selected those scenes, so I will now, this is the previous generation, I will now try it here. So that's going to fire off. This is a great tool for creators because it gives you a rich UI for you to really design awesome visuals. There's also a Design Assistant MCP server. So if you're a developer, you can come to this website. You can email me here at devtools@foremost-ai.com, and I can get you set up. And in the meantime, you can check out all the developer documentation and get a full overview of all the tools. Some of them are still placeholders, but actually I've actually implemented many of them. So this document will be a living document. It will need to be updated from time to time, but in the meantime, you can get familiar with this tool. Essentially, what ShopBirdy Design Assistant MCP server does is it wraps around the GPT-Image 1 sort of flagship image generation model. This is the top model based on various evals and rankings. So I'm using the best visual image creation model that there's out there on the market now. So this is the documentation. If you're a developer, you'll then be able to integrate the ShopBirdy toolkit using MCPs. As you can see here, I now have MCP server. It's running, it has connected to all the tools, and these are all the tools here. First thing you want to do is start a new chat and verify that you are connected. And the way I like to do that is I ask it to list out all of the tools. So here it has done that. I'm currently running the agent using the Claude Sonnet 4 model. It's a little bit pricier. If you're subscribed to VS Code Copilot, you can get access to essentially unlimited GPT 4.1. That also works great, but I find that the more premium models work really well for agentic tasks. You want to make sure that you have enough quota because those premium requests do subtract from your monthly allocation, but that looks like it's all good to go. I have, let's say you're an e-commerce developer, or you own an online retail shop, or you're a brand marketing manager, and you have tons of different products in your catalog. And a lot of times you have just a simple image of them, but you want to create like nice visuals. You want to create stuff like this, where you can take the reference image and you can place it into a scene. So here I've got a bunch of reference images, and here I have them placed into scenes. I'll show you how this works and how we do this agentically. You can also create you can just create like a white studio. So this this version is also can support. So this is the original, and then here's the version with you can see some shadows, and it looks like you're in a studio with lighting. But here is the image placed in a scene. This is what I want to do. I want to take a recipe that I've built. I call it the golden path, and it doesn't work 100% of the time, but so far this seems to be working. So I'll take this golden path, and my goal is to create a bunch of recipes that you can run agentically. So I'll give it, for context, I'll share this to the agent. In this case, it is running Claude Sonnet 4, but it could be any of the other agents. And I've asked it to then kick off this batch process. So essentially what I've done is I've created this folder with a bunch of images. Now there's a few different challenges for many photographers, for example. Is when you take a picture, the file name of that picture is typically just like a timestamp. It doesn't have any rich details. So when you have a huge catalog and you're looking for a specific picture, unless you've named the file what that image is, you wouldn't really be able to find it. So the nice thing about this tool is this can actually also analyze your images and then rename them in an automated way. That helps save a lot of time because you can search and reference these images much faster. The first thing that it's going to do, it's going to upload this image to our cloud on ShopBirdy MCP. This should work, but it does require internet access. And also it needs the server to be active, and sometimes that requires a quick restart or just verifying that it is indeed online. So if this fails, I can just cancel it and then try one more time. Let's try again. Yeah, so it's already going to do that. See if this one works. All right, that has worked. I'm looking at the command and it looks pretty much the same. The next thing it's going to do is when it uploads this image, it doesn't know exactly what this image is, so it's going to run another tool to analyze the image and figure out what's inside that image. Here it's chosen the Vision Describe tool. I actually wanted to use the Gemini analysis tool because my Vision Describe tool is currently not available. Let's try. Let's use the Gemini Analyze tool instead. Then continue. This should work. There are many different parts to this, so one of the things you have to do is we cannot analyze your image on your local drive. You're going to need to upload it to the server first. So we have a tool or a command that allows you to, with the authenticated key, you can post your image to the server, and then from there you should be able to analyze it. So now the agent is trying to figure out how to use the tool, and the tool has different requirements and file naming conventions, parameters, and those kinds of things. There should be enough context for it to figure that out, and it's actually done that. So it's figured out that this is a 3-tiered mesh rolling cart, and it's predominantly black. The background is a clean white, which effectively isolates the product and makes it stand out. Perfect. So now that the MCP server sees your image, knows what it is, it can then suggest the right scene template for it. So here it's going to run through the different scene templates and come up with a recommended background for this image. Once it's figured out what template it wants to use or what background, it will then place that image into that background and generate a new image for you so that you can actually update your product catalog and all your marketing materials, your email newsletters, and everything else, social media, with these beautiful images. So we'll let that run. Takes a moment. It's basically generating a whole new image on the fly. While that's running, we'll double check our generations. Oh, it looks like I forgot to do the batch mode. So let's do the batch mode once again. We'll flip over here, see that this is still running, and then we should see a new image. There are several parts to this. So as I mentioned, you'll have to have a full catalog of images, and then you can run this agentically, and it can update all of your images. So let's see if the file exists. Okay, it seems like it did work. It was successful. Now I need to download this image from the ShopBirdy server into my local environment. Download the image and place it in the directory. To do this, it needs your permissions to download files and save it to your hard drive. So here's the download, and verifying that it's there. Marketing cart scene, and it looks like it is. Let's see if it's in the right location. Double check that. So here's what it looks like. I guess that could work. It's a little strange, but yeah, that sort of works. Let's try a different one. Let's try, for example, let's take this one. The other cool thing is that you can actually run the, let's do this again for all the images in the folder. All right, the other thing that it can do is it can actually verify the output of the generation so that you can do some quality assurance as the images are done autonomously. The idea here, again, is if you have thousands of images and you wanted to update them all, that would take so long. But with this agentic system, with ShopBirdy MCP, you can then automate this. And because it's a server function, you can effectively have this running as a subscription and to always keep your catalog fresh. If you wanted to pass it a prompt to say, we are doing a seasonal campaign and we want to have a bunch of new images with this theme, like for example, it could be a winter theme, a spring, summer, fall, you can do that with this platform. I will connect to this. And we can see here that the batch images are also running. So this is great if you're a creator and you don't have access to an integrated developer environment, or you're not familiar with running terminal commands and running code. You can use this visual editor. So this is sort of a design studio that allows you to see what your layout would look like and use this kind of simple to use wizard or like tool to automate some of this. The difference between this tool, it's taking one image and creating lots of different backgrounds based on the available scene templates. What I'm doing within this environment here is I'm actually going through lots of different images, picking one background, and then placing it into the scene. To save costs, I'm actually using the medium or standard level of image fidelity, although the GPT-Image 1 model supports very high fidelities, super high quality images. So that's something that can be enabled for enterprise clients. But these images can be a really effective way of marketing your products and hopefully leading to more sales. And that uptick in sales will more than pay for the ShopBirdy service, the cloud, and the AI credits that is required to run these models. So if you can basically hyper-personalize a bunch of images for your target segment, your target customers, that could lead to higher click-through rates when users see those products in your advertising or on your product catalog. And if they have higher click-through rates, hopefully you'll get more sales. So it has now been doing a few different images here. And then we are going to see the output here. So this is the example of how you can use the creator tool to drop in a reference. Let's say you have a cool logo that you designed, or you have a product mascot, or you just have a single isolated photograph of the product that you want to promote. With this tool, you can place that product with very good consistency across many different templates. So as you can see from this image, the mascot itself, the key features, and most of the same colors are there. Now keep in mind this is a probabilistic system, so you have to be flexible in accepting a variety of different outputs. But the good thing is that that's actually a feature, not a bug. With this probabilistic system, we actually get more creativity, which allows us to create many variations of our product marketing image, and that will help us to figure out which are clicking with users the most, or what are the top % of them. And then from there, we can either use those images in our ad campaigns, or we can use those scene templates that seem to be resonating with users and try other products with those similar backgrounds. So that's how this works from a batch generation standpoint using this tool. And if you're logged in with ShopBirdy, you'll have access to your own gallery. So all of your images that you generate would be saved, and you could download them whenever you log in. So you can run this on your phone, you can run this on your desktop. It supports multiple platforms. So this is now operating in an agentic fashion. So it's combining the context window that is available to the underlying agent here. In this case, we're running Claude Sonnet 4 within Visual Studio Copilot, and we're enhancing the Visual Studio Copilot with a whole bunch of code and features that are not available anywhere else. So if you are a very creative person, you are more than welcome to use any image generation tools, craft your prompts, and design your images. And that's very much a lot of fun. And if you're trying to do this in an automated way, that's where the ShopBirdy MCP server comes in to play. It can essentially take your product catalog and automate all your refreshes and create a bunch of different variations. And ideally, this will happen as sort of an overnight process or sort of an always-on process, so that you always have fresh images that you can review. And this saves you a ton of time from manually doing it, and it also gives you tons of options that you can then use within your marketing materials. So let's double check this. So this part we've already done. This has all been saved, and it's wonderful. The other thing that we want to do is just mention that the ShopBirdy still has product search and chat, so you can still ask it to help you find products if you'd like. But the challenge that I've noticed is that when it comes to AI-powered web search, the results will typically come from the internet, but will come without images. And if you're displaying product without images, it's hard for people to understand what it is that they're buying. And this is a technical issue because you cannot reference an image from one website and pull it into your website. There are technical reasons why this isn't possible. So you typically have to have that image served from a host or a server that allows these cross-references. All right, this is still running. Love that. Curious to see what the results are. So that's why it's really important to be able to have these tests and be able to double check that when you kick off these jobs, you can have confidence that it will work well. And that's what I'm doing all the time. I am trying to make sure that we thoroughly test all of these. We have fallbacks, we have error handling, and you can always come to the documentation. And if you do find you have to look up some troubleshooting, you're looking for some quick fixes, we have a support email that you can reach out to, and also we have some answers to frequently asked questions and other things, limitations, and other debugging that's very useful. Right. So the idea here is to give you access to a bunch of automated tools that save you a ton of time. All right. I may, just for the sake of time, speed it up a little bit and ask the agent to just, well, I'll let it keep running, but the idea is, again, to provide you with a bunch of these nice recipes. And once they're all confirmed working, you'll be able to just one-click and run these recipes, or copy the instructions and run them within your own environments. So things like normalizing all the products. Let's say you do have a bunch of products and you actually don't want a background, you want to remove the background. You just want that product isolated in sort of a clean environment. That's another thing you can do with this tool. You can take one good product or one image and then create a bunch of different variations for it. The idea is to actually allow you to have an output, like a zip file or something, that contains everything ready to go, and then allow you to one-click launch it on your favorite content management system or your ad campaigns or directly onto your e-commerce store. So there's tons of useful recipes that are being developed and published here all the time. All right. It is continuing to operate. Here's what it would look like. So it took the reference and placed it in a sort of kitchenette area or an area with a washing machine. That makes a lot of sense. Let's check another one. Here's the Glade aroma or air freshener. It's placed on a table in sort of a nice living area. And this is the traditional mortar and pestle. You'll find this in various cultures around the world, and it's a great product, but it looks even better when it's surrounded by all these amazing ingredients. But this looks really awesome. And let's see if there's any more. I think we've got them. Let's take a look. All right, I think we verified that this works pretty well. We're now downloading them, and we've already verified that these look great. So let's end it here. I think this is a good place. Reminder again, you can always go to ShopBirdy.ai and click the design tab, and you'll get access once you log in to all of these great tools. If you're a developer, there's a quick start here, also a link to the developer portal. It's called dev.shopbirdy.ai, and then we have also these quick start actions for you as well. All right, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and let's design some great images with ShopBirdy.ai. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.